Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for a massive group stage match. We got to see it last week in LA and we get to see it again in Vancouver, New Zealand, taking on the Samoans and what always promises to be an exciting fixture. Now in LA, not too long ago, it was Samoa were victorious over New Zealand, 14 points to 7. In this matchup, though, it means so much more for Samoa. If they win, they go through to the quarterfinals. If they lose, they will miss out on a quarterfinal spot, I believe, to the USA, unless, of course, Spain have just scored a last-minute try. That changes things just a little bit here. That try there might almost secure Samoa a spot in the top two no matter what. But I don't know. The maths is very hard to work out, but maybe that has helped them out. But either way, Samoa, if they win this game, it's nice and easy. They'll be through to the quarterfinals. But looking through at the starting lineup for New Zealand, they will be as follows: Dylan Collier, Lewis Ormond. Also, they have once again gone with the man's name, who I can't quite say too properly at the moment, but I believe it is Fania Nanorfo at number 33, Joe Weber, Narohi McCarvey Black, Leroy Carter, and Peyton Spencer. Last man in the starting lineup. Hang on. Okay. The draw is actually what's just happened. Spain ran out of time on the clock, so USA walk away with 2 points, which now means that the door is wide open. If Samoa win against New Zealand, they will go through. If Samoa lose, that will now mean that the USA qualify in the quarterfinals due to that missed chance for Spain. So a big moment there for them getting it wrong. But looking through at Samoa's starting lineup, it will be Va'a Pilomaleko, Motu Opitai, Taunuu Naulivaya, Paul Scanlon, Malani Matavao, Fa'afoi Falaniko, and Owen Nue there as well. New Zealand will win 14 points to 7. Samoa will win. Says Michelle, and good morning, Hamish. I think New Zealand will win it. I hope. Says Kevin and go the Manu. Says Jin. Samoa will win this game, says Tassi. And All Blacks for the win, says Roika. So it seems like we've got quite an even split at the moment of people supporting both of these sides. So the way that the pool now sits, USA find themselves on 6 points. Samoa can get themselves a victory here that will actually move them up onto 7 points. But New Zealand undefeated at this stage in the pool. They had that massive win over the USA, 52 points to 0. Tough fought victory over the Spanish, 19 points to 7. And now they've made their way into a matchup up against the Samoans again. Now, this was the Cape Town Sevens final. It was the quarterfinal in Hamilton. In fact, Sydney, in fact. I said in fact twice. But it was the quarterfinals. That one actually went the way of New Zealand. So these two sides very even when they play, always having plenty of physicality. But it's now been pretty much put clearly in picture. New Zealand win, Samoa miss out, and the USA will go through to the next stage. Samoa win, they will go through to the next stage, but they will not quite top the pool, I don't believe. I think New Zealand will still end up being that little bit above them. What happens if New Zealand win? Says Kevin, they are through. They will face off against the second place team out of Ireland, Australia, and there's someone else also lurking around there for that third group. Samoans will be kicking off this one from left to right. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Got plenty more sevens coming up later today, including some quarterfinals action, and then tomorrow will be the semifinals and the finals as well. Now, we kicked off by Samoa. Again, it long and deep. New Zealand taking it nicely inside of their own 22. And both of these sides will feel like this is a final, really. It's almost a knockout stage match, other than the fact that New Zealand is safe no matter what. Leroy Carter cross to Dylan Collier again, only 10 metres out from their own line here. New Zealand driving up now to the 22 with a good run from the experienced number 5. Having a fight for that one, Leroy Carter in the breakdown, and it looks like Pilo Maleko trying to get the counter-attacking opportunity going. Nice offload made, though. Collier receives the ball again. He'll be one of the crash ball runners. That's great work from Samoa. I thought they had got the turnover. Referee says no. Inside ball. Joe Weber slings it across to Lewis Ormond now. Inside ball again to Leroy Carter. Nice space opening up currently for the Kiwis, and it's going to be the penalty for the player leaving his feet. This is going to be an important 14 minutes for the Samoans. Like I mentioned, if they win, they're through. If they lose, they're gone. So it's about as do or die as you can get. But all the players, you will notice sometimes in the pictures that you see, or if you are watching the game, you'll notice that the players all have the kind of tape down the knees, tapes on the elbows. That is due to them playing on AstroTurf at BC Place, which pretty much just tears up your body, ends up with a whole heap of grass burn. And Fa'amalosi, don't give up, says Donovan. Exactly right. For Samoa, they have to fight with every breath in their body here for the full 14 minutes if they want to get the victory. New Zealand now inside of the Samoan 22, nicely taken by Dylan Collier. Offloads the ball up. Now kicked him behind Leroy Carter. Joe Weber waiting for this ball to sit up. It does. And that is going to be the first try of the match for New Zealand over Samoa. And the crazy part of this is, if Spain had not been timed out from taking that final conversion of the game that would have won them the contest, Samoa would have been going through either way. Because Spain took so long, it means that now this was a must-win for the Samoans. So I feel like the next time those two sides play, there'll be plenty of big hits coming in from Samoa on Spain. Might have cost them their spot and try. Says Kevin there. That one is going to be successfully converted for New Zealand, making the score now 7-0 in favour of the Kiwis. Taking some deep breaths now, Joe Weber. Be kicked off. And nicely taken there by Owen Nui. Look for the offload. Found the hands of Malani Matavao. Now in the midfield, Motu Opitai. In fact, it was Nauli Vai with the ball now. Scanlon goes across to Malani Matavao. Va'a Pilomaliko on his inside, but brilliant tackle made by Narohi Makavi Black. Straight on the ball. Dylan Collier wins the penalty. Takes the quick tap for New Zealand. Now Joe Weber. Back across. As it sits currently, Samoa sitting in third. They have to win this match if they want to go through. And if not, then the USA would be the next side to qualify in the quarterfinals. Now back across to the right-hand side. Another big run from the new man, Finia Nanofo. The halfway line currently for New Zealand. Leroy Carter, a little bit of a high tackle attempt from Scanlon. They'll go back for the penalty. New Zealand, they won't mind wearing down the clock here. They'll know that they have to be strategic in how they end up playing this game. Rather than going full speed ahead, 100 miles an hour, they have to make sure that they're more methodical, slowly breaking down Samoa. Now, kick for the touchline from Rohi McGarvey Black. 20 metres out now, New Zealand will have themselves another line out. I should mention there are 2 more games taking place throughout the group stage matchups. That is going to be Australia versus Ireland as a big match. And then the one just before that is the matchup between Canada and Chile. Okay. I believe Ben Breakspear just telling New Zealand must be quicker to take their lineouts, feeling that they're using up just a little bit too much time. It's going to be another penalty to New Zealand. Grabbing the arm in the air. Just seems like Samoa haven't quite got the momentum at the moment, but they have to try and find a way of breaking that chain of penalties against them. It looks like they will once again go for the line out. Oh, no, they're going to go for the scrum. They've actually switched it over. Rohi McGarvey Black didn't like that ball. Got a new one. McGarvey Black. About to put the ball in. It's done just that. Nicely hooked back by New Zealand. Leroy Carter, selling the dummy, decides to run it himself, and Samoa in the breakdown that time. No player not rolling away. Another penalty against them. Not back to end. Another advantage. New Zealand will score again, and it is now Rohi McGarvey Black who gets in for the second try of the match for New Zealand. Will be the third in Vancouver for Rohi McGarvey Black. See, a few people have dressed up like the Tui Bottles Waikato Draft as well. I wonder we even get a costume like that. I don't think they sell them too often here in New Zealand. I've seen too many kids wearing them on Halloween anyway. Rohi McGarvey Black, nice try scored by New Zealand. The kick is successful, and 90 seconds remain in this first half, and try again. Says Kevin Layla there. Oh, okay, they're actually talking about the fact that they haven't got much of a scoreboard / timer for when you're kicking. talking about the fact that it is only a very small number at the end of the field. So the commentators, I think they feel bad for Samoa as well. That's going to be the penalty to the Samoans, though. Like I mentioned, they need to make sure that they do absolutely everything in their power to not go into halftime 14-0 down. Here comes Malani Matavao inside ball. It's loose, but it's picked back up close to the touchline. Pino Maleko tries to keep it in the field of players. Picked up by Leroy Carter. Now 22 meters out. Dropped down hard in that challenge. Samoa regain the ball. Scanlon goes across. Now Motu Opitai on the outside. Here goes Fa'afoi Falaniko. Big Finn looking for his offload. Macca Springer. In fact, it was Peyton Spencer, sorry. Was able to drag him down, of course, Peyton Spencer, son of Carlos. Another big run from Nao Levaia. Great low offload. Dylan Collier trying to get on the ball with the counter ruck, and they do that well, New Zealand. Getting the ball back. Leroy Carter will just watch this clock go down to 0, and they will put this ball. No, they won't. They're not going to kick this ball into touch. Looks like Joe Weber probably should, as they're going to keep this ball alive for a little bit longer, New Zealand. And now Dylan Collier up the middle of the park. Now, this is a good tactic if it works and they score. If it doesn't, though, and Malani Matavao, second bite of the ball called against them there. So now New Zealand, they can decide if they want to take the quick tap and put this ball into touch. Make it 14 points to 0 at halftime. Looks like they're going for touch. They want to try and wear down the Samoan side and also get themselves a little bit more practice in before getting into the big matches. They will be facing either Australia or Ireland more than likely in their quarterfinal fixture. Now New Zealand. Now Rohi Makavi Black, they will have themselves the line out. And they will make it a very tough second half for the Samoans. They will have to get probably 3 successfully converted tries in a row up against New Zealand, who have only conceded a total of 1 try throughout this whole competition so far. And the Roy Makavi Black goes into the back to Leroy Carter, offload, and it will be another try. This time, Joe Weber does manage to score it. And this now means it's almost a done deal that New Zealand will be top of this group. That was already a done deal at the end of this match. Before this match started, sorry, but Samoa, they're going to need some massive plays in the second 7 minutes if they want to make their way through. And like I said, if Spain had kicked that conversion, which the kick did go over, it was just they took too long to take the kick. Because they ended up drawing with the USA rather than winning Spain, it means that Samoa miss out here. That kick is successful. Gone straight down the middle. And New Zealand now at halftime leading 21 points to 0 here. Mention the next leg of the Sevens. It's a little bit further in the future. What another try. New Zealand on fire, says Kevin. Yeah, they have been playing very well throughout this Vancouver Sevens, and it does seem like it is going to be continuing throughout the rest of this matchup, which is where Samoa, they need to find some sort of early turnover, get the momentum in their favor, retain that kickoff, go again after that. And hey, bud, following the breakers today, and got a tip for the UFC. Yeah, the Warriors fan. Wait, so have you got a tip for the UFC or have I got a tip for the UFC Warriors fan? I'm hoping to catch a little bit of the Breakers game today. I think they do play just after the Blues versus Brumbies matchup, if I'm not wrong. So I'm hoping to catch a bit of it, see how the Kiwi boys do. They did all right yesterday up against the Sydney Kings, but UFC is going to be pretty awesome. So it's 3 points for a win, 2 for a draw, and 1 for a loss, says November Mum. Exactly right. So I don't want to keep on going back to the scenario that Spain put Samoa in, but I kind of have to in a certain way. So Spain theoretically should have knocked 1 more point off the USA, which would have meant if Samoa won this game, they would have been sitting on 7 points alongside Spain. Samoa would have had the better points differential, and they would have gone through. Unless, of course, New Zealand won this game by more than 33, then it would have been not so bad because then Spain would have still gone through anyway. But then they considered a head-to-head fixture, and Samoa won that one against Spain, so I think it would have changed again. Nice and sunny here, says Kevin Layla. Kicked off for the second half. New Zealand just getting at the 10 metres. It's going to be a knock-on. And now Fa'afoi Falaniko with Owen Nue as well. Here come the Samoans. Malani Matavao. New Zealand have been defending pretty well, though, not allowing Samoa to break through the line. Leroy Carter, low tackle made again. I don't believe New Zealand have missed a tackle, and if they have, it has only been maybe the one. Now, Fa'afoi Falaniko finding another offload to Owen Nue. A wall on the outside. Here comes Paul Scanlon down the wing. He's close to the touchline. Now going to keep cutting right back in, or at least as far as he can. Try for Samoa. Their first of 4 needed to get themselves back into this match and get through to the quarterfinals. But a quick start. 40 seconds in. Scanlon scores his third of Vancouver. Potential that this game could be a game of 2 halves here. New Zealand, they have been defending well. Lewis Orman, he made a good tackle, but unfortunately that gap just opened up on the outside after the draw and pass. And then Peyton Spencer was there. And I was like, hey, slow down with the maths, bud. Some of us failed maths at school. I mean, I think the Sevens also failed maths at one point. They were saying South Africa were through to the next stage, even though France had the better points differential. So I've been utterly confused in terms of who's going through until after it's happened type thing. Because they don't do it on points differential, which you'd think they would. They do it on who's beaten who. So, for instance, in that first group between South Africa and no, that wasn't the example. What's the first group that we saw between Fiji and their group? Because Fiji had beaten someone who was higher than them, they went through. I just talk fast. That's my job. That's about all I do. Now Leroy Carter through the line for New Zealand. Dragged down on the halfway line. Joe Weber close to getting penalised for off his feet there, I would have thought. Now Lewis Ormond. Now going across left-hand side, looking open, tries to flick round the back. It's unsuccessful, and he's given up the ball now. But Samoa, they have ended up giving it back themselves, and Joe Weber scores for New Zealand. Well, no, New Zealand team should be New Zealand versus New Zealand and Samoa, says Pauletta. It should be. Spain really let the Samoans down by not kicking that final play of the day. Like, that's the thing. The kick went over as well. It was just after the 30-second time limit. So it ends up not counting. And goes Samoa, Malo Falava. Hopefully I said that correctly. Says Caralo there. Hi, guys. Says Obi. Welcome in. Joe Weber scores himself another try. The scoreboard's a little bit asleep. There we go. A lot better. 26 points to 5 at the moment now for New Zealand. And the kick is successful. That just makes it that little bit harder for the Samoans in this match, as they need to draw this game or better to be able to get themselves winning. Game over, says Roikus. And Samoa cannot win now. Yeah, it does seem like it's going to be too much for the Samoans to do in the final moments. That's going to be kicked off. Goes high. Malani Matavao has managed to regather it. It's going to be a knock-on advantage for the Samoans. I mean, 4 converted tries in 4 minutes would win them this game, but that is something that is almost unheard of on the Sevens circuit, let alone when you're playing up against a side like New Zealand. Seem like they're high up there in the favourites list of being able to win the comp. Now, Va'a Apilomaliko once again goes across. It will be Paul Scanlon with a nice step on the inside. Here he goes, the Samoan number 10. It's going to be knocked on by Samoa, though, again. Go, where's Samoa? Says the boy, and also all New Zealand All Blacks for life. And also, we have got there listening from Lamy. Fiji loved it, says Caralo. And we are going to be covering that matchup that is taking place between Fiji and Argentina in the quarterfinals. That is going to be a massive match, and it should be a very intriguing one. See who manages to get themselves through. But the winner of this game will be facing the team in second in Pool D, which does include Ireland, Australia, Chile, and Canada. Kiwi Lads needs to go on the road and report live from the Vancouver Sevens next year, says Warriors fan. Yeah, see, that's the thing. They got rid of Hamilton Sevens, so I can't actually go to that one anymore. Sadly, but I could go to Sydney maybe. That would be fun. I'm sure if I said to my mum, I'm going to the Sydney Sevens, she would probably be in my suitcase as soon as she could, and she'd just hide and make sure that she makes her way to Sydney with me. Although the thing is, she wouldn't have to hide in the suitcase. I'd just buy her a ticket. Come with me. New Zealand sitting at the top of the bunch. USA in second, controversially. We'll say it again. Spain should have won that game with a last-minute conversion. They didn't. And the USA managed to reap the rewards of that. And Vamos Argentina, says Tapua. And there as well. Now, Roy Maccabi Black. Now goes to Peyton Spencer around the side. Brady Rush for New Zealand looking to score another couple tries. And to be honest, I feel like that would be the better one because then points differential wise, it does seem like they would have been out of it anyway. But then I believe it goes down to those differences. That's going to be another try for Brady Rush, turning into a very one sided affair. And you can tell that the Samoans are feeling defeated out there, knowing that for this game, they needed a win. Conceding so many early tries, though, was always going to make it tough. The second for Brady Rush in Vancouver. And Samoans sitting 33 points to 5. It's going to be Fiji versus Argentina right in the quarters, exactly right. So it's probably the toughest matchup out of any that is going to be taking place. And yeah, it's going to be an awesome game between the Fijians. Did struggle a little bit up against Uruguay, also struggled to a certain extent up against Great Britain. Now are starting to find themselves in some better form up against Los Pumas, who were able to beat South Africa 10 points to nil, or 12 to nil in the end, and try again. Well, says Kevin there. Now it is going to be kicked off high. Almost slapped back there, close to the touchline. Valvasa Afasua. Now, I should mention we will be covering that matchup between Fiji and Argentina on the channel. Be sure to check that out. I believe of the quarterfinals, that might be the only one that we have got on the channel for quarters, mainly because of the overlaps with Super Rugby. But we will be covering the match that Samoa are playing for their ninth place playoff game. That will be taking place just a little bit earlier on before Super Rugby starts. Wide cutout ball. Scanlon now receives it out wide. Another step here. And Fiji have versed them like 3 times already in Hamilton and Los Angeles, right? Hopefully they don't lose this time, says Avishal. But yeah, Fiji, they're a good side. Pumas, they're a good side. It's going to be a great match. And what time is Fiji versus Argentina? That is 5:05 p.m. New Zealand time. I believe that's the same for you guys in Fiji. For the time zone, 30 seconds left. Samoa looking to get themselves one last try in the contest. Stepping on the inside. Here comes BJ Lima. Just short of the line now around the side. Fa'afoi Falaniko. I believe he got over the line. But they will just check this one. I think he might have bounced over the line there for Fa'afoi Falaniko. Yeah, I believe that the Samoans will be going head to head with the team that is in, I believe, third in the other group. So that will be Canada, if I'm not wrong. So they might end up facing. That angle's not going to show it yet. Now that will, and the ball looks held up. Not quite down for Falaniko. So now they will go with the scrum 5 meters out. Now I'm in New Zealand, same time in Fiji too, says Avishal. So yeah, we'll be 5:05 p.m. New Zealand time for that matchup. And we will have another live stream running at the same time, the Blues versus Brumbies, but we are going to have someone else commentating that small window while we are doing Fiji versus Argentina. We'll be jumping between the two. Now, will be 5 seconds remaining here. Little fair pressure in the breakdown. Believe there was a knock on for Samoa, or at least they had the advantage, and then they've taken it away. Now it looks like a Kuria Rokali Soa. It's going to be a good foot race between him and Latero. Akulia Rokalisoa gets in for the final try for New Zealand. And also shout out to Mike from Rangiora. Says the poor. Nice try. Didn't quite get me there. I've read too many messages in chat. But that is going to be the last minute try for New Zealand. 38 points to 5. Tried to slap it out of his hands. Lateru put it in every last bit of effort that he could to chase that one down. Now, Samoa easily could have let them run straight through and score, but they did still try and stop them. Good lad, just to pull it in there. Yeah, we've seen quite a few different ones in the chat over the years. And as quick as I talk, somehow my brain still clicks to go, no, don't say it. I got caught out once because I accidentally said every Tongan swear word because I thought the guy was just being nice at the start because he was like, hey, bro. And then he just said every Tongan swear word, and I tried to read it out, and I think I would have offended 99% of Tongans who were watching that live stream, but that will be the end of the match. 40 points to 5 in favour of the Kiwis. They do win this game by 35. We'll just have a quick look to see where that actually finishes Samoa in their group. I believe that we'll still have them in third. So New Zealand will be in the second matchup. They will be taking on the second team in Pool D, which will be either Ireland or Australia. More than likely, it will be the Australians. And well done, boys, says the Roikers, and get you next stream, bro. Says the poor. And there as well. Yeah, look forward to seeing you next for the sevens matchup. I believe it will be Argentina versus Fiji, but also before that, we will have the matchup taking place for Samoa in their ninth place playoff games, which I believe hasn't quite been confirmed yet. But it will be the third place on Pool D, or in Pool D, versus fourth in Pool A, and third in Pool A versus fourth in Pool D. So Samoa have confirmed their spot in the 3:38 p.m. game. Anyone who is curious about that one. So that will be when they are playing next. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all for the next one.